So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the.
All right, good evening, you guys. How's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday night, you late night owls. Welcome back to the show. I miss you guys. Who we got in the house tonight? Anya, Juicy, Grandpa Barney, what's up? Trevor, scrolling up. Damrick, good evening. Roseanne, Interstellar 8, Paul, James, Richard, Spanish John, what's up? Mike, Maggie, good evening. Maximus, George, Punchy Nuts. Sorry for the delays. We just got back from a movie, 7 minutes late, and then Streamlabs has given me some problems tonight. So here we go. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. We're gonna just answer whatever questions you have. I did just schedule a live stream for tomorrow morning, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. I'll be live on YouTube, but I will be also live in my Discord. You will not be able to hear the audio of the court on YouTube because we can't rebroadcast it. In my Discord, since that's not being rebroadcast, at the very same time, you will be able to hear it and have conversations. And then since I'm going to be sitting here all day listening to it, I thought I'd go ahead and turn on YouTube and let you guys comment whatever while you're hopefully phoning in and listening in and share our thoughts, our hopes, our dreams, our tears, our laughs, whatever happens tomorrow and Thursday. Super Steven, what's up? Motivational Lion, good evening. Pete, what's up? Just a reminder for tonight and always for my show, the thoughts I share with you are my own. I come up with my own due diligence, my own reading. I don't share my thoughts with other people, other content creators. I don't tell people what to say. Nobody tells me what to say. Absolutely nobody pays me. You're getting it raw, straight from 10 Grit Tony Denaro, what I think. Like it or don't like it. What else? I'm not an attorney. I'm not your financial advisor, but I'm pretty damn good at reading documents and giving you a non-biased, non-emotional take on what to expect, at least from my viewpoint. And if you don't agree, that's cool. I get it. Everybody has different opinions. But this is my show where you're here to hear what I think. So welcome one and all. Chris says, where can we find the phone numbers to call in tomorrow? Let me put that up on the screen, Chris. Hang on one second. I just happen to have it ready right here. 9:15 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. Eastern time. So that'll be 8:15 a.m. my time. We're going to start around 8 a.m. Central with the YouTube broadcast. And these are the speakers. Let's see. This does not have the phone numbers. I probably need to go to the other document. Stand by. Mods, help me out tonight. If anybody's being an asshole, mute them, and I'll take care of blocking them if they so deserve. Dissenting opinions is not being an asshole. Being an asshole is being an asshole. All right, I think this is the one with the phone numbers. There you go. I'll leave this up on the screen so you can jot these down or take a screen cap, whatever you need to do. 1,000 callers per line. We got 5 lines. And I doubt seriously that all 5,000 will be used. So no need to call in tonight and just stay on hold. I'm not planning on doing that. I have been getting some sun, Trevor, yes, between working outside all weekend, doing my running and stuff like that, separately during the daytime. I have been getting some sun. All right, let's just jump right into some questions while I spark this thing up. GT says, will this settlement be based off total shares owned after reverse split and conversion, or what we owned for AMC Common prior to August 22nd? Well, I mean, both, but in terms of numbers, for every 7.5 AMC shares, I got a lot of questions still this week. Is the settlement based on APE? It's based on AMC only that you own right now. So for every 7.5 after the reverse split, which is equal to every 75 AMC you have right now, after the reverse split, if the settlement is approved in the form that it is right now, you'll get 1 share after the reverse split. 1 for every 7.5 AMC after the reverse split. Nuck says, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Amen. I got a bunch. And I know it hurts people's feelings that I'm passionate about my opinions, but I'm passionate because when I say something, I genuinely have done the research and believe that I'm correct. Now, am I always correct? No, of course not. I'm human just like you guys. But, and if I am wrong, unlike most people, I will come back and tell you, hey, I fucked up, got it wrong. Most people just like, oh, pretend that never happened. Let's not mention that again. Nuck says, will the stock finally run up? No idea, Nuck. No idea. No one knows for sure what's going to happen. My expectation, and many people that I talk to, is that due to the arbitrage factor and the fact of AMC and APE APE converting over to AMC, the conversion of both together, the convergence, that AMC likely will go down a little bit and APE will likely go up a little bit. That's my best guess of what to expect right now. And I think that will happen fully on the day that we get the judge's written opinion. That's my expectation, that they're just going to be kind of range bound in this range that they've been in, pending court news. Now, maybe there'll be some thoughts or some statements shared by Zern in her line of questioning or listening to the objectors and counsel tomorrow and Friday, where we can glean some clues and maybe you'll see the stock move a little bit. But I think the next big change in price for AMC and APE is going to be however she decides, for or against. When we get that written opinion, then you'll see the next big move in the stock. Gus, what's up? Lucy, how you doing? Gus says, what do you think caused AMC to have that run up today? I was watching the run up, Gus, and then I had to go to a movie, so I don't know if other people have postulated other theories, but what it was looking like to me, based on that big increase in volume at the end of the day, someone, institution, was generating some buying pressure. For what reason? I don't know. That's just my theory, that it was institutional. Was it covering? Was it a fake out? Was it some trade they needed to make before the hearing started? I really don't know, and I haven't looked around to see if anybody already cracked the code on that. But my general thought, obviously, was that it was some institutional buying. Why? I don't know. I would expect them to be selling prior to the judge talking with counsel tomorrow, unless they think unless they think the settlement's not going to get passed. In which case, if the judge leads us to believe tomorrow and Friday that the settlement is not going to be approved, that would have some upward momentum on AMC. Dana Young, what's up, Dana? Mediocre trader. Do I think we will squeeze after the objectors speak? I'm not expecting any price movement based on what the objectors say, mediocre. I think if we're going to get any clues, it will be from what Chancellor Zern says. Raymond says, anyone have a take on new QSIP number post reverse split? I do. I think it's not going to matter. I am not viewing the QSIP change or reverse split, neither one, as any sort of squeeze catalyst. Could AMC drop like Mullen did after the reverse split? I mean, Mullen just obliterated in terms of the number of the amount of dilution they did. They obliterated their shareholders. If Adam Aaron announced after the conversion that he was immediately going to do a private offering of 450 million shares for 20% below the price, yeah, you can bet that that would probably have some negative momentum on the price. What I'm hopeful for, and I have no idea what he's going to do, is that he does just enough dilution when he gets to that point, and that he times it with a spectacular Q2 earnings announcement so that we can get some upward momentum before he starts diluting. And I do think that, if I was him and I could choose the timing, I would want a court decision, a prospectus out there, and then Q2 earnings, and then sell into a run-up. If I was CEO, that's what I would want my order of events to be. Grandpa Barney brings up a couple of excellent points about Mullen. They have no revenue, right? The big difference between Mullen and AMC, Mullen has zero revenue. They just pushed their biggest product out to 2027, the Mullen 5. The CEO has not delivered on anything that he said. And when you add in reverse split, dilution, and no revenue, that's a really, really toxic mix. So then you have CEO on top of those three things that keeps on not delivering on promises. People are losing their faith in that company. Bookstoy says, why is Texas so dang hot right now? Gosh, it's been 100 degrees every single damn day, just about in June. I was doing a project outside this weekend here around the house, and I had to come inside. I had to come inside every 20 minutes to drink a damn pint of water just to live. 1796, Tony says, Tony, you called Mullen from the start. Thank you. Yeah, it's been amazing, guys, the amount of people who've called me a shill, a dumbass, don't know what I'm talking about. Can't he read the chart and see how beautiful Mullen is? I don't give a fuck about the chart when I can look at the financial statements and all the little secrets and tidbits they tuck in there for those of you that are diligent enough to read them. The chart is meaningless. I see these poor Mullen YouTubers trying to do TA. Oh, the RSI it's at 20. It's never been this low. Yeah, because you have no revenue and they're diluting the hell out of it. I saw Lordstown Motors also filed for bankruptcy. Remember about 2 years ago when we were talking about all these EV companies, I said in a few years we're going to look back and a third, a half, 2/3 of these companies won't be around. You're starting to see it. And Lordstown Motors won't be the first. and it won't be the last. There are going to be more victims in the EV market. Tough business. GT says, shots. I wish I could do a shot. I'm less than 1 pound. I'm at 185.8, and 185 was the very first goal to have a drink. So maybe by the end of this weekend, we can hang out and do a shot. Rivian will be next. Once we get past this damn hearing, I'm going to start covering other stocks again. Between Bed Bath & Beyond, Mullen, and AMC, just keeping up with all the goings on. It's been sucking up a lot of my time. I actually do read all the documents, and I'm checking nonstop all day. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot to keep up between reading the documents, keeping my audience informed in the Discord, which I do is, the second a document drops and I go through it, I update them in the Discord. If it's worthwhile, I'll put it on Twitter or in my community tab. Clearly I've not been updating Twitter and YouTube community tab with every document. It's just too much, and it generates too much drama. But, the misinformation from my perspective that's going on in this court process from people that they are, in my view, my opinion, interpreting things the way they want it to be, and I get it. I'm like taking myself out of my body as an AMC investor and trying to read it like the court would, objectively, without bias. And then I share my thoughts. And I know a lot of people hate that. It's not because anyone's giving me a script. It's not because I am against retail. It's not because I'm not a shareholder in the company. I'm trying to be the one fucking person you can count on to give you an objective expectation of what's going to happen. And if you don't like what I'm saying, but I end up being right, then I hope you remember that and come back and say, well, I didn't like what he said, but he was trying to explain why and how the court is viewing things, so that at least I have some rationale, some reason for understanding it, even if I don't like it. I have no idea what's going to happen with the judge and with her decision in the next couple days, next couple weeks. But I think I've been giving you guys a fairly accurate read of what to expect in advance of the special master or the judge saying it. Oh, Candace, driving through Yuma, Arizona, and your air conditioning stopped. Holy shit. I can't imagine that. Yeah, Mexican Silverback. I saw that damn picture of Mr. Large and in charge at the pool party with the whole strip club. He had all the ladies posing with not my money. I sold my Mullen. I think it was pre-reverse split. I forget. I sold it at 50 cents. Someone in VIP, go back in and look on the trading channel and let me know what day I sold it. But once it dropped below 50 cents, I was like, yeah, I'm not sticking around for this. I was hoping that Harge would come up with something, and he kept stalling, delaying, lying, scamming, in my opinion. Wouldn't get that damn EPA test done. I was only in Mullen for a pop on Mr. Harge news, and I lost faith in him. So I think I lost $50 on that trade. Super Steven says we hit 2.607 domestic box office. Guys, I just got done seeing No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence. Any Jennifer Lawrence fans? It made me think back to a similar movie back in my day with Kelly LeBrock. Now, gentlemen or ladies, Kelly LeBrock in her prime or Jennifer Lawrence? How do you choose? Lose tits. What is the predicted earnings per share going to be? I've shared my thoughts in the Discord, Lou. And you have access. I see that you're a member there. So as far as the YouTube audience, I'm going to wait until June 30th till we get the full Q2 domestic box office, and then I'll share it with you what my thoughts are. But if my model is correct, and we're going to go through it with the CPA and double check every fucking line item on the 30th, if my model is still correct, which we nailed it almost. I think I was either right on. I know I nailed the net loss to the fucking dollar. I think earnings per share, I was off by a penny. If my model is correct for Q2, there should be an upside surprise, and quite likely you're going to see some green. Not a tremendous amount, but enough that it's going to be a surprise for what people are expecting right now. Yeah. I think AMC will not lose any money this quarter. Are they going to bank a fuck ton of money? No. But positive is better than losing $235 million, I tell you what. Nick, what's up? Do you have any info on the AMC On Demand and Voodoo Fandango merger? I haven't really been keeping up with that. I saw the announcement coming out. My take on that, Nick, is that AMC was wasting a lot of money keeping up with their on-demand feature of the app, and so they offloaded that to a third party so they could collect a little bit of royalty or fee, whatever you want to call it, and not be burdened with the expense. So I'm not viewing it as a big revenue contributor. That's just my take. But it takes some expense off the books. So if revenue stays flat, but you offload some expense, then maybe that's a good thing. Yeah, weird science, Candace. Thank you. I see a bunch of people voting for Kelly LeBrock. She was smoking in that movie. GT says, did we get suckered into a MOAS? I mean, things were very different back in 2021, GT. And this is why I keep on using that hashtag evolve. Like, remember in 2021, we had $2 billion in the bank at AMC. We had people had a shit ton of free cash. The economy was cranking up, and everything was hitting on all 8 cylinders. And then we got to November 2021, and everything changed. Nobody had money. Plays were being wound down. The interest rate started hiking. Companies started laying off. Big institutions went risk off in the equity markets. And in the last 2 years, AMC's cash has been spent to keep the doors open, and we're down to under $500 million. So look, I think if you're a strategist, you have to evolve. Getting dug into a foxhole and saying, I'm never changing, la, 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 la. I think that is suicide for your portfolio. To be a good investor, you got to read the fucking room, read the financial statements, understand what's happening, be willing to pivot, adjust, adapt, and hopefully survive. And yeah, I think we all learned a lot over the last 2 years. Mediocres. He said, I'm thinking about buying the dip on BBBY. What happened with the auction today? I didn't see the headlines. I know they had an auction for Bye Bye Baby and the rest. Can somebody fill me in? Megan Fox, our Baglio, says she was hot in her day, Mr. Baglio. Julie, howdy. Howdy to Clark also. Thank you for tuning in, Julie. Broke Ape saying, what's up with the Flash? The Flash just became a flat tire, Broke Ape. I saw the movie. I liked it. I don't understand why nobody's watching it. I don't know. Remember I said back in late April, at the beginning of Q2, that if every damn movie in May and June knocked it out of the park, beat expectations, we could see as high as 3.3 billion in Q2. But it became readily apparent by early June that that was not going to be the case. So I ratcheted down my my expectations for box office to 2.5 billion, and we blew through that, thank God. We still have a shot. We're going to end up somewhere between 2.6 and 2.7. I don't know if we can get 2.7. It depends on how good Indiana Jones is, and I am seeing Indiana Jones tomorrow. That'll be my 7th movie in the last 3 weeks. Doing my part. For anybody who says, I don't do fucking shit for this company, put my money where my mouth is, spending a shit ton on concessions, because I honestly do believe, like, we probably all own enough stock at this point, and the very best thing you can do for Q2 is spend your money. If you enjoy films, if you enjoy eating or having a drink, any dollars you spend before the end of June go onto the income statement and bump up that earnings per share, top line revenue, bottom line revenue. Now, I'm not just going to 7 movies because I think that me by myself is going to save AMC. I genuinely enjoy movies. In fact, it's well known that I'm a D-rated actor. Yes, I took an acting class 7 years ago. Just like I'm about to take some guitar lessons so I can also be called a failed rock star. I enjoy film, theater, movies, the big silver screen. I enjoy it. It's a great entertainment outlet. So I'm watching those movies because I genuinely want to see them. A side benefit is that that it is supporting my investment in the company that I want to see around for the long term. George says, was Mullen a textbook case for success in shorting? I would say that's a fair statement, George, Mr. Pringle. Philip says, problems with negative news and Ezra Miller hurt the Flash. I think it's a shame. Like, I read his little bio right before I went and saw the Flash. I understand all his personal issues. Look, if you're going to not see a movie because of that, I respect your decision, but I'm just shocked that all of America decided not to go see what was a pretty decent film. Look, the superhero movies aren't my favorite genre of movies, not by a long stretch, but I genuinely enjoyed The Flash. The other thing, no hard feelings for a Wednesday night, and I'm not kidding you. The theater tonight at 7 p.m. was just about full, except for the first row. I turned around and I looked and I was like, what the, on a Wednesday damn night, full house. I love that. I'm used to seeing that on a Friday night or a Saturday, but a Wednesday night, the word is getting out about this movie. I haven't even looked to see how good it's doing, but the word must be getting out. Steven, give me an update on No Hard Feelings. How's it doing? Lou's Tit says, isn't it weird that we've never seen a no voter supporting AMC? And we're not going to see any of them in the court Thursday or Friday either. All the ones filing the motions, not one of them is going to make an appearance. Kind of odd to me. Kind of odd. I saw in one of the exception reports today, one of them said not one supporter filed an affidavit in support of the settlement. Yeah, because we don't have to. The judge explicitly said you don't need to write a letter. I took her at her word. We got counsel for the plaintiffs and the defense arguing on our behalf. We have a majority vote of the common shareholders that voted and the ape shareholders that voted both in favor of the settlement. There's no need for us to write letters. That's just wasting the court's resources and time. They had plenty of time spent handling all those objection letters. Steven is saying no hard feelings is overperforming. Joe says they like seeing that hot girl naked. I was not expecting the nudity, but gentlemen, there is that beach scene. And I don't know if that was a stunt double or not. Sure didn't look like it. But yeah, there is some full frontal nudity. So don't take your children's. There was a flurry of filings today. We're not going to go through all of them. Letters, exceptions, lots of them. I read through all of these earlier today. For the most part, if you just want my general sense of what's going on with all these exceptions, they basically just repeated their objections. For the most part. There was a lot of postcard. Nobody got their postcards by the deadline, which there was no deadline, let's be clear. From the judge's May 1st scheduling order, the one that had the instructions for the postcards, there was 0 due by date in that document. A week before, when the judge was talking about keeping the schedule, she said the schedule will only work if what was the phrase she used? If generally most postcards are received by May 24th, the schedule works. Now, she's talking about holders of record. That is anybody that DRS'd and the brokers. Those are the holders of record. And they all got their postcards and notification by the 15th of May. So from the court's perspective, I think you're going to hear that the postcard situation legally was met. All the holders of record were more or less notified by May 15th. The rest of us are holding in street name. We're beneficial owners. And you've seen my tweets and my community posts. The court does not consider us owners of the stock in terms of notification. In the Linda Lau lawsuit that started in 2019 and settled in June of 2022, which was Linda Lau versus Wanda on behalf of AMC. That was also Chancellor Zern, and she asked that notifications be sent out on that case also, and they sent out 11,000 postcards. 11,000. So just from my opinion, she went above and beyond making sure that in this particular case, everybody had notification of the lawsuit. Now, some people are trying to twist that into it was mandatory that you got your postcard before May 31st. I didn't see that in there. I didn't see any dates that were due by dates. And regardless, thousands and thousands of people wrote letters of objections and got on the record. We got 2 full days of objectors. I think it would be a stretch to say that someone that was not paying attention to AMC that randomly got a postcard could come up with any better argument than all these distinguished ladies and gentlemen put in front of the court over the last 2 months. I think they did the best they could. And one of them even hired counsel, Rose Izzo. And so if you're an objector, you have a lot of people on your side. Just my opinion that it would not have been likely that someone that was not paying attention to AMC enough to know that there was a lawsuit could have, in a couple of days or a couple of weeks, come up with a better argument than these guys did. They did their very best. And we'll find out in the coming days and weeks what Judge Zern thinks of that. Have I talked to Mass? I have not, Katie. I've not talked to him since the last time we were live. I did watch his last live stream before he went off on his road trip, but I have not talked to him. I know everybody thinks, oh, Tony's always talking with Bigums and Boss Blunts and Phil. No, I don't talk. I talk to the people in my Discord, sharing thoughts, sharing ideas. I don't talk to other people that much. Have I ever talked to them? Yeah, on occasion, on a rare occasion, mostly to laugh about something. S. Jackson says Indiana Jones will get wrecked. I sure hope not. I know where you're coming from on that. I've seen the warnings. I saw a great preview of it this week. It looks like it has potential, but maybe I'm being too hopeful. I just loved the first two Indiana Jones, Raiders and Temple of Doom. That was the first two, right? Not so fond of the last one. What was that? Crystal Skull. I have high hopes for this one, but I understand I might be disappointed. Michael says, what happens if they put it back again for another month or two? Okay, so let's talk about what's going to happen in the next 2 days. We have all of the objectors are going to speak and counsel Thursday and Friday. I think everybody gets 15 minutes except the attorneys get probably 30 each. And then Zern is going to go off to her cabin in the woods and write up her opinion. And we'll find out sometime between July and the end of September what she thinks of this whole saga that we've been living through for the last 90 days. She is going to either accept the settlement or reject it when we get her opinion. If she rejects it, that means that most likely AMC and Allegheny are going to have to go back to the drawing board and come up with a better settlement. That's my understanding. Is there a chance that Zern could just go left and find some gray area of the law that, that I've been incorrect on and the objectors have been right on? Yes, there is a chance. You never know in a court what's going to happen, but I think the most likely outcome is going to be either accept the settlement or reject it and ask them to do better. The Court of Chancery is typically, if a settlement is on the table, they're more inclined to approve the settlement than not. Michael Haynes says the Lawrence Harge bullshit. Tony was right on that. Yeah, I've got a bad habit of being correct, Michael. I know that pisses a lot of people off. All they can do is slander, smear, call me all sorts of names, but they can't fucking touch my due diligence. Jesse says, is Riverside a good area to stay? It is now, Jesse. Yeah, you're going to be close to downtown. Back in my day, I didn't live off of Riverside. I lived a little bit further south, but back in the day, parts of it used to be really rough. But as Austin has modernized, all those rough, low rent apartments and stuff been replaced by splendid new, high dollar apartments and condos. And you're an easy, cheap Uber or bike ride into downtown. How fast can she rule, AMC Panda? She could rule by the next day. But she could also take 90 days. Now, I'm hoping that we get some written opinion from her in July before Q2 earnings. But I can't promise you anything. RA says, if both parties already agreed on the settlement, what is there to improve on? I mean, that's a good question. And I read the special master's report. She said that the settlement, even if it was half the value, is still a great settlement for shareholders. We'll have to wait and see what Zern thinks, if she's thinking similarly or not. I know that many of the objectors think that the settlement is not adequate. I respect their right to think that. But reading what the special master wrote, hearing Chancery Daily talk on her channel, that this is a very high settlement for a case like this, I'm inclined to think that the judge is going to approve the settlement. I could be wrong. Maggie says, if Antara had not been able to vote, would the reverse split still be a yes? No, Maggie, I don't think so. Because the big problem AMC's had over the years, you can go back many years after Wanda got out of their Series B common, and it was just down to regular folk voting. They can't get more than about 30% of people to show up and fucking vote. I mean, how does that happen? If let's just take a walk down conspiracy lane. If there's 9 billion shares out there and all of us are getting to vote, why can we only get 200,000 votes to show up? They can't get more than a couple 100,000 votes to show up, maybe even less. 30% of 500,000. Less than 200,000. And they can't pass what got passed in March unless 50% of common showed up to vote. And so even though common in the March vote voted, far in favor of the reverse split and the conversion, it still was not going to be 50% of everybody. If you add up the yeses and the nos, it was about 32, 35%. So that vote would have been a no. It would have had to been postponed. Then they would have had to wait a month to go try and drum up more votes. Remember when Mullen ended up having to do 3 votes because they couldn't get enough people to vote? The AMC thing would have just been strung out, because they couldn't get enough people to vote. So, yes, the Antara deal enabled them to get enough votes. I don't think anyone disagrees with that, to get this thing through. Doc Zeno says, my hunch is the judge will push it through pretty fast. Billy, what's up? Billy says, the settlement sucks. I hope she waits until 9/30, September 30th to decide. Clark, what's up, Clark? He says, I used to be hung up on the reverse split. If we don't get a reverse split, AMC will go broke, so we have to have it. Yeah, Clark, I'm looking at Q2 potentially being slightly positive, so I'm hopeful we don't lose any money as far as cash in Q2. That gives us 2 more quarters. If I'm also expecting, you guys already know this, it's not a secret, that I'm expecting Q3 and Q4 AMC is likely to lose money. So that gives us 2 more quarters. 495 million will get us through 2 more quarters. And then it becomes, if this drags out till next year, it becomes a little dicey for AMC by the end of the year. if I'm correct that they will lose money in Q3 and Q4. Now, I understand there are some people that are forecasting profits for every quarter this year. Just my humble analysis, I am not in agreement with that. If we have every quarter posting up Q3 and Q4 like this one, will be fine. But if I'm looking at the movies in Q3, I think it's going to be similar to Q1. Couple $100 million lost on the income statement. Q4 will be better. Oh man, Peter says, what movies have you seen in the last 5 years you'd put in your top 10? I don't even know, Peter. I'd have to sit down and think about that. Nathan says, Antara has unloaded most of their shares. Have you guys seen this narrative going around that Antara is trying to do a hostile takeover of AMC? I'm like, bro, they had 250 million shares or so, 28% of APE, and they've sold off more than half of those. They're down to 11%. How do you figure that's a hostile takeover when they're selling? The theories that these clickbaiters come up with just never cease to amaze me. All right, we did get a new filing today. Let's see. They're at 101.9 million APE left from whatever they had, 220, 250 million. They're down to essentially 10% of APE. They clearly were in it for the trade only, the profit, and for obviously for getting their vote in, but that duty was fulfilled and they are taking risk off the table. I get all these comments. Why are they selling? Don't they believe in the MOAS after the reverse split? They don't care, guys. You know what they paid for their APE shares, whether it was 60 cents or 80 cents. If they're selling at $1.80, that's 200% profit. That's party on the yacht numbers. And I saw some fucking clown saying I'm advocating, I'm celebrating Antara. I'm not celebrating anything. I'm reporting to you the facts, right? They're in it for a trade. Am I happy that they're making money while we're getting pinned at $1.80? Fuck the fuck no, I'm not happy. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you about what they're doing. They're selling to take a profit. That's just reporting the facts. These people that try and smear me, I don't know if they got a couple screws loose or if they are so hell-bent on their mission to make anyone that disagrees with them look bad that they will lie. I'm just reporting what is on a damn form and telling you what I think they're doing. They're taking profits. They're taking risk off the table. And for them, that is a healthy profit. They don't need to hold and wait to see if it goes up after conversion. They will still have some after the conversion. Once they drop below 10% of APE, we won't be getting these Form 4s anymore. And I've told you guys over and over the last 2 weeks that I am pretty sure before conversion, they're going to drop below 10%. So we won't know how many they're selling, but you can, in my view, you'll be able to know if they're still selling if you're seeing APE pinned at around $1.80. I see the TA guys saying APE's about to run, APE's about to run. APE's not going to run while Antara is selling. So let them get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Hurry the fuck up, Antara. Clark says, how long have you been invested in AMC? I bought my very first shares, Clark, in late May of 2021. I watched the GameStop thing. I was just in shock. I did not participate in GameStop in January, but I was like, holy shit. I wish I would have been in that one. And so I started paying attention to the people that were talking these plays up. And that's how I stumbled across AMC. I researched it for several weeks before I bought my shares in the $7, $8 range back in May of 2021. And look, I'm you guys already know my style. I'm very risk averse. I did not load the boat. I did not mortgage my house. I did not take my whole 401k and convert it to AMC. I think that is very, very dangerous and risky to take that type of risk on a short squeeze play. I would never advocate that to anybody. But I bought some shares, what I was willing to risk, what I was willing to see go to zero. And then as it started moving up, I started buying call options. And a couple days later, I made a fucking mint selling those call options on June 2nd or whatever day it was. So I will forever be green on AMC. There's zero way I can lose money in this play. And for that reason, I still continued to buy some shares throughout 2021. But, after that, when the economy started tanking, I was like, well, what are going to get hit worst in a bad economy? Any company that is losing money. That's the first stocks that are going to get sold because people are going to have a flight to safety, bonds or profitable companies. That's why AMC got obliterated since November of 2021. It's just not a compelling investment for institutions, and retail is more or less out of money. Is there shorting going on? Yes, on top of everything else, shorting going on because they can read the room. They can read the economy. They can read the market. And for them, unfortunately for us, they knew the direction the market was generally going to take. So now here we are. Back where we started. And AMC's held this market cap for, fairly reliably. I think it's at a comfortable market cap. So what's going to happen? I know you want to know. What do I think is going to happen with the reverse split? I don't care about the reverse split. I am more cautious, and I want you to be more cautious about a dilution announcement because we know what happens on dilution announcements. Now, I don't think it's going to be bad as a Mullen because AMC has not only billions in revenue, but growing revenue. But dilution is still dilution. And if the market cap's going to be the market cap and you double the float, for example, what do you think is going to happen to the share price? I want you to be aware of that as you're thinking about your play over the next couple months. S. Jackson says, I wish we could kick the teeth in of Melvin Capital. I know, brother. Me too. I wish I could kick a lot of people's teeth in right about now. Nathan says, how much will AMC try and raise in the first couple months? That is the $1 million question, my friend. I'll tell you what I've said on other live streams, and I think in tweets. I would prefer that they raise the absolute minimum. If there's going to be dilution, for example, I'm not here beating the drum of sell 400 million shares and pay off all the debt. You're not going to hear me say that. Could they do that? Yes, they could sell 400 million shares and attempt to pay off the debt. I think that would be a very unwise decision for the company because it would obliterate us and it would burn all of the cash. If AMC is thinking we're not going to have back-to-back profitable quarters till 2024 or 2025, the most very important thing they can do is get cash on the balance sheet and survive without diluting us over and over. So if they could sell 100 million shares for $20, What does that get you? $2 billion, right? That's enough cash to buy them 2 more years. I think that's reasonable, a reasonable cash raise. And then, you know, hopefully he just keeps the other 300 million in his back pocket and does not burn us with a massive dilution. Maggie says, how much will AMC go down with the reverse split? I mean, technically, Maggie, a reverse split should not change anything because the share count drops as the price goes up. Everybody is in the same position the day before a reverse split as after, both long and short. Everybody is exactly the same. What you see with penny stocks that are falling and then they have a reverse split and they go up, they just keep going down at the same angle, the same trajectory, because they're not fundamentally changing anything by reverse split. They are reverse splitting just to stay listed. So if all you're doing is a reverse split to stay listed and you're already going down, you're going to keep going down. Go watch my video from 6 weeks ago about, are all reverse splits bad? There's 10 examples of companies the size of AMC that have performed spectacularly after a reverse split. Why? Because they had fundamental change in their finances, in their business. That also took time. None of them went up the next day. It was multiple quarters, some of them a year, to go up 100%. So what AMC really needs is a fundamental financial improvement in their business to change the direction of where it's at. So, yeah, I can't tell you how much he's going to dilute. I can tell you, I hope that it's a small amount. The larger it is, the worse it is going to be for everybody in terms of the market reacting negatively, would be my guess. And then if it does drop on a dilution announcement, if it does drop, then you need to, you know, if you choose to hold through that, and again, I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold, but I am telling you, you need to be aware that dilution could have some negative price impact. If you choose to hold through that, then your next thing that you're gonna wait for is how much money did he raise? When does that announcement come out? And what does he do with that money? If he says, we raised $2 billion, we're going to leave it on the balance sheet. We just bought ourselves 2 more years. We're not going bankrupt. That could be interpreted positively by the market when they know the dilution's done and there's $2 billion on the balance sheet. Just throwing out examples. If he spends 3/4 of that money, well, he can't really buy, I don't know, Cineworld is coming out of bankruptcy. The lenders are going to own it. Could he come up with some deal with the lenders of Cineworld? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of buying up more theaters. What this industry needs is less theaters so that the ones that remain can have more butts in seats. So it's not high on my list for us to buy Cineworld. Or a lithium mine or whatever else cockamamie ideas that he has. I would hope, I would prefer that he just keep that cash on the balance sheet, maybe invest some of it in some treasuries, and just keep us safe until we see if the industry recovers. Another thing says, is it weird that the biggest defaulter of the January 2021 buy freeze was called out on all Reddit subs and on Twitter by Dave Lauer? Who was it? Another thing. I did not see that. Brett says, you were right about Hycroft. Man, you guys are warming my heart with all the you were rights. Thank you. Sometimes, you know, to wait and see if I'm going to be right requires my level of patience. And I know a lot of people don't have that. But generally, if you follow me long enough, I end up getting most of these things correct. Hycroft, is it time to buy it? No. To be perfectly honest, the people in my Discord have already known this for a couple weeks. I had a small position in Hycroft that I had bought near the current price. I sold that a couple weeks ago. And I bought puts on Hycroft because, now hear me out. I will be wrong on buying puts if Hycroft comes out with some good news. But what I'm looking at, the reason I bought puts is I believe that in the next couple months they're going to do the reverse split, and we know for a fact that they have no revenue. Same damn situation as Mullen. Same situation. So what Hycroft needs is some spectacular news that they're about to get back in production. I also know that they need to build a milling plant that is going to be hella expensive. So I think that after they do the reverse split, they're going to do dilution to raise money to build the milling plant, that or take on more debt. So when I weigh up the reverse split, no revenue, and the need to raise cash, I am now bearish on Hycroft in the short term. So that's my thoughts. Check my DD. Go back and watch all my Hycroft videos. And I pray if you're long on Hycroft and you hold it, that I am incorrect and that they come out with good news before more bad news. Am I at a Stomp concert? No. Hey, what's all that noise in there, Scarlett? I think she went and bought a bag. Are you breaking up ice in there or what? She went to Sonic and bought a bag of ice for whatever reason. We've got an ice maker. And she said, I really like that crushed ice. What are you making to drink? Water? Anyway, she bought a bag of crushed ice at Sonic, and it got frozen in the freezer, so she's she's breaking it up in there. Oh, she was trying to break the ice with her plastic cup, and she broke her cup. Well, there you go. What is the number, Manchku says, for the call-in tomorrow? I have it for you right here, my friend. Another thing says, Reddit found Instanet was defaulting by 1 billion more than Robinhood on January 28th. Dave Lauer posted the waivers. All right. Thank you. I have some homework to do tonight then. Philip says, if the judgment goes through, if the settlement goes through, am I optimistic long term? Yeah, I think obviously, Philip, if there's some dilution, again, I'm not worried about the reverse split. Whether or not that is going to be a correct view, stay tuned. But I am more concerned for everybody about dilution having a negative bearing on the price. But if we get through that short-term volatility, and if the market, the experts are correct that next year will be 11 billion domestic box office, I am very bullish for AMC and the movie industry in general. That AMC could have 2 or 3 profitable quarters, maybe 4. It remains to be seen. Obviously, that's a forecast for next year. It remains to be seen if the industry can pull that off. But it would be very, very good for AMC if we could get $11 billion domestic box office next year. Hallie says, what are your thoughts on buying AMC to get your share count divisible by 7.5? I'm not giving any specific buy or sell advice, Hallie, but just in using the common sense method, if you are holding AMC and it's not divisible by 75 right now, and you just got a few shares to top it off, and you want that, you know, if it's not divisible by 75, you're not going to get the extra settlement share. So that's something for you to think of. C-Win, what's up? Clark says, do you still think there's hope for a squeeze in GameStop? Let's check and see, Clark. Let's talk about short interest for a second too. I'm going to pull up the GameStop short interest. I just stopped looking at it on AMC, not on a daily basis anyways. But while I'm pulling up GameStop, let's talk about AMC. Right now, it's around 23% on AMC and a little bit under 5% for APE. And I know the cost to borrow is going up for AMC, which makes it very interesting in the short term if we get some upward price momentum. But if nothing happens on AMC and APE and AMC come together in the conversion, you're going to see that percentage of short interest drop, because you have a massive float on APE that is barely shorted, combining with a smaller float on AMC. And I think it would drop from 23% down to about 10. So just be prepared for that. And that does not mean that short's covered. That's just the math of the massive float and low short APE combining with AMC. GameStop is at %19. So, you know, my personal threshold that I always tell you guys is I want any play over 20% for me to call it a short squeeze play. Philip says they may want to pay off some debt now. Yeah, if AMC raises, let's say AMC raised $2 billion, there are a couple bits of low-hanging fruit. If you go in the 10Q and scroll all the way down to the table that shows the debt and the year that it's due, there's some low-hanging small fruit for 2024, 2025 that they could pay off a couple $100 million. I'm good with that. Pay that off. The big $3 billion, I think, is due in 2026, if my memory serves me correctly. And they could choose to pay some of that off if they strike a deal at a discount. Now's the time to do that. But if they don't, you know, they can always refinance that debt as we get closer to 2026. Hopefully the interest rate environment is improved by then, and AMC's financial status is improved, and they can get a better deal on restructuring that debt. Robert B., thank you for the reminder on Chuck Ziegler. I do like some blues guitar. That sounds like is Chuck Ziegler the name of the band? Chuck Ziegler and Cold Snap. All right. I'll go see where they're playing nearby me next. Driftwood's not that far from me. Hallie says, read the back half of my question. Was that to me or to someone else? Thoughts on settlement if you don't have shares divisible by 7 point? Yeah, hopefully I answered you, Hallie. Wouldn't the short interest and cost to borrow reset? Cost to borrow will drop when Ape is converted to AMC, now you have all these new shares available to loan out. And when they become AMC, right now institutions can't really buy Ape, but they can buy AMC. See, there's so many things that could happen, right? Are institutions going to go buy AMC because they couldn't buy Ape? Or are they going to avoid it because of the potential of dilution? Who the F knows, man? Who knows what's going to happen? I can't predict what's going to happen. But I can look at the amount of shares available once the conversion happens and say that on the face of it, on day one, I would expect the percentage of short interest to change and the cost to borrow to go down because there's many, many, many more shares available. Maggie, thank you. Bless you.
Thank you, Tony.
And I am drinking water, Maggie. Still. Almost 30 damn days of drinking water, Maggie. A lot of water. I did have a drink, a Long Island iced tea with my wife at AMC tonight. Don't hate me for cheating on my no alcohol policy. I'm less than 1 pound from meeting the first goal. So the deal was no alcohol till I lost 10 pounds. So yeah, I cheated today, but it was for a good cause. It was for us. It was for all of us. $26 plus tip just on drinks before we even stepped in the theater with our concessions. Hallie says, was to you, Tony, what would the settlement be if you didn't have shares divisible by 7.5? You won't get a settlement if it's not divisible by 7.5. You'll get a settlement for the amount you have up to divisible by 7.5, and then the remaining fraction would not get paid. Doc Zeno's teasing me every day in the Discord with broccoli emojis and martini glasses. It's taken a lot of willpower to go a month with no drinking, calorie restriction, doing my calisthenics, my running, my sprints. And it took a lot longer than I thought that it should to lose 10 pounds. But on July 1st or this weekend, whichever comes first, I will be back in the gym. And I think we all know that increasing that work activity, the barbell lifting, will help the second 10 pounds melt off a lot faster than this. And I'll be able to eat more, thank God. Not that I've been starving myself, but I'm looking forward to eating bigger meals than 1,300 calories a day. Whiskey soon, Robert. Yes. What should I buy to celebrate with? Hopefully we can have some little celebration this weekend. I see the broccoli and carrots. Yeah, I've mostly been eating salmon, chicken, ribeye, ground beef, and then some greens, some kale, cauliflower, broccoli. What else have I had? Cabbage. That's eggs, a lot of eggs, butter. That's basically been my last 28 days. Maggie, I cannot give you an opinion of Palantir today, Maggie, but it is hot on my list to do a video for you guys next week. Eagle Rare, good idea. Johnny Walker Blue, good idea. All I have, I've got a bottle of one that you guys recommended. I don't really want to start off drinking tequila. I got this bottle that I picked up on y'all's recommendation, the Terra Luna small batch tequila. It's not opened yet, you can see. It's been sitting here teasing me for a month. I got all my beers left still from the challenge that we were going to do, Austin versus Boston. I guess if Massalorian's going to Vancouver, we're going to have to update the challenge from Austin versus Boston to Austin versus Canadian beers. I haven't talked to Mass since our last live stream together, however many weeks ago that was. Billy says, I could never deal with the Texas heat and stay on a diet. You know what's been killing me is not the diet, not the calorie restriction. I just wait as long as I can in the day to eat. Like my first meal is generally around 1 o'clock, maybe 2. And I'll have a good, healthy, portion of meat and some veggies. And then I eat again around 6 or 7. Same size meal. But what's been killing me is the hydration, especially out there running and stuff. I have to run now with my water backpack, whatever brand I have. You guys know what I'm talking about. I was literally having some heat exhaustion early on. Like I didn't know if I was going to make it home. I was like, I got to be smarter about this. Take my water with me. Ooh, this thing's done, but that was not bad. Sommelier's selection. That is from my. I signed up for one of those cigar of the month clubs, so now I don't have to go to the store. They just send me 10 cigars every month. The convenience of delivery to home. I see y'all talking about pickleball. Yeah, we were talking about that on a Discord chat today. We were talking about doing burpees, bear crawls, and jump rope for some hardcore calisthenics that you could do not at the gym. I'll tell you what, guys, if you've ever done like 3 to 5 sets of bear crawls and you are not prepared for that, holy fucking shit. And burpees too. Also a big fan of P90X. I have that. I haven't been doing it. I have done it before. But if you can't afford a gym membership, just go on YouTube and look up calisthenics. There is a lot of stuff you can do just with your body that will get you in shape. Clark, you are welcome. Clark says, thank you for always telling us the truth, no matter how painful it is. Yeah, it is painful for me to be hated by both sides, Clark. But someone's got to do it. Irish man, what's going up? What's going on? He says, are you ready for tomorrow? Yes, we have the live stream scheduled. Check that on my channel, and I will see y'all tomorrow on that live stream. Remember, you need to call in and get your own audio of the call, because I can't play the court call on YouTube. If you are just joining in and you're a member of the channel and you want to listen in and chat with us in the Discord, we'll be talking and listening to the court proceedings in the Discord. So I'll have it in this ear. Excuse me. I'll have it in this ear, and I'll be able to hear everybody in the Discord and talk with you guys. But I'll also be talking with y'all on YouTube over here. So we'll have two things going. Only the Discord members will hear the phone call. If you're not a member of the channel, I would advise just call in yourself and listen, and then you can come on the channel and comment whatever you think, Let's enjoy or cry together with whatever happens in the next 2 days. Mac Barton says, I hear talk saying that the settlement is deemed after conversion. If someone held only ape, do they qualify? No. Let me be clear. Ape will convert to AMC. All of your ape will become AMC. That is correct. But as far as the settlement, the payout from the court case, that will only apply to any AMC shares that you hold right now or the day before the conversion. So the settlement is based on your current AMC. Every 75 you have right now of AMC will collapse to 7.5. And for those 7.5, you'll get one payment share. Ape, nothing is going to happen with those, except they will also collapse by 10 on the count. They'll become AMC, and the price goes up by a factor of 10. No payment on Ape from the settlement. The call is at 9:15 a.m. Eastern. So we'll be live at 9 a.m. Eastern here on the channel, 8 a.m. Central. I'm going to see if I can let you know one of my favorite calisthenic YouTubers, Chris Heria, Heria. Look him up on YouTube. You watch a couple of his videos and tell me you don't get freaking inspired to do body weight exercises, calisthenics, pull-ups, push-ups, flags, dips, whatever the hell you call that, where you pull up your body over the top of the bar. Just the amazing shit that you can do. Planks. Chris Heria, Heria. He's got a full YouTube channel with a lot of fantastic motivational stuff for you. Håkan Berglund, good morning to you in Sweden. The numbers for the call are, I'll put them back up on the screen. Thank you. About the reminder to check Instinet. Yes, I will go check Dave Lauer. There was a lot of interesting conversation this week. I don't know if you guys were watching that between the Susan Trimbath crowd and the Dave Lauer crowd. I weighed in on it, but nobody watches me. So about this transparency rule on the Susan Trimbath said that there was a SEC rule which was going to give voting rights to anybody holding derivatives. No, not in my view. I read not only the rule, but the rule that rule came from. And that is not at all how I read it. What I read was exactly what I saw. Dave Lauer was in agreement with me. The transparency rule is requiring institutions which currently, right now, can sway a vote by owning cash-settled derivatives. Right now, they don't have to report it. And the rule is going to require them to report it on the 13 G's or D's, wherever they F's, wherever they got to report it. It's going to require them to disclose that they have cash settled derivatives. That's called a beneficial owner report form. Right now, they're sliding under the radar, guys. By owning those derivatives or those swaps, they could go to a company and say, we've got all these. We could we could convert or talk to the counterparty that holds the shares and tell them how to vote. They can sway a vote right now, and we don't know about it. We don't know who holds those derivatives. The rule today, I think, was the final day for comments, will require them to now report those derivatives on the beneficial owner form. It does not give voting rights. In my view, in my read, and Dave Lauer agrees, does not give voting rights to derivatives. On the face of it, to say that by buying options you could own a vote, that just does not pass the sniff test of common sense. And by reading diligently if you read the rule and forget what Susan Trimbath said, I think you will agree. I can't explain to you how someone like her could get it so wrong. I came up with my read on it. I later found out the next day that Dave Lauer came up with this same read on it that I did. So I feel good that we're giving you the right info. Philip says, as you get older, there's a sharp decrease in metabolism. Yeah, I'm finding that, Philip. There's been times over the past 5 or 10 years where I've had to lose 10 pounds quickly, and I could do it easily in 14 days. That did not happen. That did not happen this time. Old age creeping up on me. Took 30 days. And once I'm back in the gym on the 1st of July, then I will, and now that the knee injury is healed, barring any new injuries, I will continue. That's part of my weekly routine. I will continue on that. So you'll see me get skinnier and skinnier. Let me scroll up. I just missed what looked like a good question. Has there been any news or updates on the lawsuit against their insurance? I have not checked. Good question. I'll see if I can get an update on that tonight. My view on that is, you guys already know from a few weeks ago when they filed it, insurance companies, their first answer is always, we're not going to pay. If any of y'all have dealt with medical insurance, you already know that. We're not going to pay. They make you fight them. So I think there's a good chance they will end up paying, but I have not. I've had my hands full with this damn case to follow up on that. Someone was asking if you have 5,000 shares, should you top it up to 5,025? If you want the full settlement payout and it stays at 1 for 7.5, yes, I would. That's the difference between one extra share or not. It is up to you to weigh the benefit of those extra 25 shares. What's that going to cost you versus getting one extra share after the reverse split? That's a choice you got to make. Court is tomorrow, Stefano. Yes, sir. Yeah, I've read several of Susan Trimbath's posts. I disagree with all of them. I cannot explain. Clearly, she has a lot more experience reading and knowledge of this stuff than me. So if it was just me alone, my read on it going against her, I would say, well, maybe I'm wrong. But Dave Lauer is also pretty sharp, and he came up with the same view as myself. That emboldened my confidence that I read it correctly, and that Susan, for whatever reason, is incorrect. Philip, all right, hit me up this weekend for the, I'm assuming that's about a Discord access. Yeah, I'll be around this weekend. My plans for the weekend is to get the grill fixed. You guys, we don't need to repeat the story about what happened to the grill, but I have a new wiring harness that's supposed to be arriving tomorrow. It's supposed to be here today. So I've got to pull the old wiring. It's a gas grill, and install the new wiring. And then my plan is to be fully grill ready for July 4th. Philip says, am I out of luck to listen in tomorrow? No, sir. The call-in numbers that you see on the screen right now, you can call in and listen. As far as the Discord, just look, if you're on Twitter, send me a DM. If you're on Discord, find me on Discord and send me a private message on Discord. You don't need to be a member of the Discord to DM me. But Twitter would probably be easier. Bill A says, is anybody in the chat tonight going to Delaware? I don't know. I only know of one person that commented on one of my YouTube videos, Captain John Barton. He's the only person that I'm aware of that watches my channel that is going to be there and testifying, maybe not the right word, speaking in front of the court tomorrow. Now, he said, he told me, he messaged me today, and I told him I can't really give him advice, but he said, but I really I want your opinion. I was like, well, if you're an objector, talk to Tuttle, because I'm not the right person to ask for advice on objecting. But he said he was a yes voter, and then he had a change of heart. So it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say tomorrow. And I don't know if he's in the chat now, but well, I guess we'll all find out tomorrow what he has to say. Fear of God, Triple Sev, what's up? What was Phil talking about with Dougie today in his video? I did not watch Phil's video today. I've tuned in on a couple of his recent live streams, watched a couple of his recent videos, but I know that by Twitter, I know that Bigums and Doug Sifu have been going at it, and I imagine that Phil is just piling on to that mess. That would be my guess. Dennis says, will a low ape cost average lower a higher AMC cost average after conversion? Yeah. I mean, it should, right? If you bought ape for 68 cents or 80 cents or $1, and then the conversion happens, or even $1.50, and the conversion happens, and all of a sudden you have AMC shares that are $26, which would be $2.60 in today's price. You gained, and you had a lower cost average. That should offset some of your ape share cost average. At the same time, I expect, and I could be wrong, I expect that AMC will come down when we get the judge's decision. So you guys gotta think it all through and make your own decision. Another thing says the debate is about the classification of beneficial ownership. That is correct on the Trimbath versus Lauer debate, or the rule. Now, what I said about that is I read not only the rule that was posted from Susan Trimbath, but I dialed down to the rule with much more detail in the Federal Registry. And I tweeted out that rule for you guys to go look up yourself. But I'm not really interested in debating it with Susan Trimbath. I gave you the breadcrumbs to go look it up. There's a lot more description if you go look up on the Federal Register, and I think that Trimbath has it wrong. It's not about the definition of beneficial ownership at all. It is forcing current institutions flying under the radar to disclose a cash-settled derivative as a beneficial ownership on the beneficial ownership form. They are flying under the radar right now, and they have potential sway through those positions. Doesn't mean they have a vote, but they have sway. And we don't know about it. So the SEC wants them to disclose that, and I think that's a good thing. Philip says, Tony, once you get to your desired weight, fight like hell to stay at it. I think I'll do okay, Philip, as long as I don't have an injury. I mean, I weighed 175 for a long time, until we had COVID hit, and then I got the fucking knee injury right after that. Right when I was about ready to start going back to the gym, I tore my ligament on the back of my knee. So I've had about 3 years of not getting in doing the work that I need to. It's not a great feeling watching your waistline grow. So I enjoy exercising and working out. The other thing we have not been doing, because we ramped down our social drinking at COVID and thereafter. I mean, before COVID, we used to go out country western dancing 3 nights a week, and you can burn easily. We don't, my wife and I don't get off the dance floor. If we're there for 4 hours, that's like 2,000 calories burned. That also helped a lot, and the lack of doing that is weighing against me right now. Just finished off a Padron Series Maduro cannon, Sloan says. Very nice. I'm jealous. Very jealous. Dennis says, I just took the batteries out of my scale. Everything's looking great. I love it. Brett says he lost 40 pounds by fasting 15 hours. When I woke up this morning and I saw I was only 0.8 pounds away from my first goal, I was like, I'm just going to fast all day today. And when I wake up in the morning, I'll be at 185. I couldn't do it. I am not a great full day faster. I can easily fast till about 1 or 2, but then it just becomes uncomfortable. I'm 5'11", Jake. All right, guys, we're coming up on midnight, and we got to be up early. We got to be fresh for a full day live stream. Thank you for the great questions. Just a reminder, if you're joining in, all of my thoughts are my own. I have never talked to Adam Aaron or anybody at AMC since that 2-minute talk or 5-minute talk I had with Adam Aaron at a theater, just like all of you have. Nobody gives me talking points. What you're getting is my thoughts. I don't tell anyone else what to say. Nobody pays me. I wish. What else? Not legal advice, not financial advice. What else do they say about me out there? I mean, the amount of conspiracy shit that I hear these people come up with is just astonishing, but it gives me a little bit of hint why they believe all the other conspiracies. It's like their whole mindset, everything they view in life is through a prism of conspiracy. And it saddens me that people live their life that way, but not one thing that they have said about me in terms of all of that is correct. Anyways, do you think that I would be saying shit that is so unpopular with everybody? I got apes blocking me. I got conspiracy theorists blocking me. I got everybody blocking me. I'm damn near shadow banned. Everybody hates 10 grit Denaro. Everybody hates the cowboy, except you guys. Thank you. So, yeah, I say what I think, whether you like it or not, because that is my DD, my honest thoughts. Whether it's popular or not, I really don't care. I think that by being honest and giving you my true feelings, I ensure that I have the credibility to move on to the next phase of whatever tickers, stocks, finance, crypto, whatever the future holds, real estate, entrepreneurship. And you guys see it. I wish that the conspiracy theorists saw it, but look, I can't change their minds. They're stuck in a world, a sad life where everything they look at is a conspiracy. So they're going to get left behind. I love you guys. Thank you. Be good to one another, and hopefully we will see some or all of you mañana in the mañana. If you can't tune in because of work, if you can't watch, get your headset or get your phone, put it in your back pocket, listen in. I'll be talking on YouTube. We'll be listening to the court on Discord. So one way or the other, you'll get to hear some thoughts. And by all means, call into these public lines if you can't tune into me, and hear for yourself what is being said. I think it's going to be very, very interesting for everybody. And whatever decision the judge comes up with at the end of this, whether it's the one that I want or not, I'm going to honor her decision. And I'm pretty convinced that for a small percentage of people, the ones that have a different viewpoint than me, that I hope they have the same thought in their heart. But I think that we will see, if it doesn't go their way, they're going to call the judge corrupt, the court corrupt, everything corrupt, because of that damn prism that they got. And my whole goal in the last 90 days has just been to educate from a non-biased, non-emotional perspective and tell you what I think to expect, what I expect. We've mostly been dead on right. And we'll find out. We'll find out in the next 2 days, in the coming weeks, how it all turns out. I'm good with it either way. Have your trading plan ready either way. Peace out. Love you guys.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine.